Part of the strategy really is to ensure that people have money in their hands.
We also need fiscal policies and actions.
The aspiration for us is to make Nigeria a net exporter of petroleum products.
We want to steer discussion to good economic policies to the benefit of the country.
It is in difficult times that nations take decisions to be and build their country.
You either make more money or you reduce your spending.
If you waste time or you spend time, what you're doing is you're wasting your ability to create wealth.
We'll still be talking about Nigeria's problems because Nigeria's problems know the finish, you know? Hello, and welcome to the program. This is Moneyline with me, Nancy.
So we really have to keep thinking out of the box about how to get money to the least accessible in our society.
Everything has to be re-examined in our economy, in our health system.
We are also ensuring that government...
With Nancy. Moneyline with Nancy show is literally the best business show I've watched, and also working from here and seeing how everything is done from the production to like when it's live. Everything is organized. You learn a lot of things. I'm an intern. I've been here before. This is my second time being an intern here, and so far I've learned so many things about production, scripting, and everything that includes all of that. Madam Nancy is the nicest and disciplined. She's disciplined in her work, and she makes sure like everything is done according to like time. She's very time efficient, and I love that about her. She really taught me a lot, and I respect her.
My name is Victor Daniel, social media manager for Moneyline with Nancy, which of course arguably the #1 business show on TV. It's amazing to work here. it's amazing to be in the presence of amazing people working for this the show. And of course, the anchor, the convener of MONEYLINE with Nancy, Madam Nancy Inaji. What I'll say is, if you pay attention to this slide, you will notice that the persons that have been talking to you, or the persons on the screen, are young people. That's to tell you that the show is not just educating the masses about economy and of course the business aspect in Nigeria. It's also trying to look out to young talent, bring them on board, let them harness their talents in broadcasting, in writing, in production.
Hi everyone, I'm Bukola Daniel, and so far I've been a social media manager intern at MONEYLINE with Nancy. I am so excited to be part of this team. MONEYLINE with Nancy, to me, is the best finance program out there. This program is so packed to the extent that she actually helps businesses and other people who probably are not really interested in finance get to know a bit about
hello, and welcome to the program. This is Moneyline with me, Nancy.
So we really have to keep thinking out of the box about how to get money to the least accessible in our society.
Everything has to be re-examined in our economy, in our health system.
We are also ensuring that government does not continue to manage this refinery, because government is not really equipped to manage refinery.
We need to come forward and do something different, so that we move from a situation of looking at things from it's purely a consumptive approach to a productive environment.
The government and the people need to really agree on the need for a departure from business as usual.
We are now on the process of recovery. It is what I call a bumpy journey to an uncertain destination.
This is Moneyline with me, Nancy. Naji, it's so nice to know that you're joining us again today.
If we invest well in infrastructure and we're not distracted and we're focused, in the next couple of years, the story will change.
We need to make ourselves attractive to investors, our own domestic investors, as well as others from the continent and outside.
We have to accelerate Africa's industrialization. We have to make sure that we build our export capacity.
It will interest you to know that every mineral that we have in Nigeria, Nigeria's mineral is always the best worldwide.
This is Moneyline with me, Nancy Naji, where we keep you up to speed with finance, business, economic, investment, and market information. Your best bet at this time.
Right now, it's because of the personal interest and corruption that has put us where we are today.
And there is price hike everywhere.
It's a global thing, so we just have to keep pushing and being patient.
Nancy. MONEYLINE with Nancy show is literally the best business show I've watched, and also working from here and seeing how everything is done from the production to like when it's live. Everything is organized. You learn a lot of things. I'm an intern. I've been here before. This is my second time being an intern here, and so far I've learned so many things about production, scripting, and everything that includes all of that. Madam Nancy is the nicest and disciplined. She's disciplined in her work, and she makes sure like everything is done according to like time. She's very time efficient, and I love that about her. She has really taught me a lot, and yeah, I respect her. Thank
you. My name is Victor Daniel, social media manager for MONEYLINE with Nancy, which of course arguably the #1 business show on TV. It's amazing to work here. It's amazing to be in the presence of amazing people working for this the show. And of course, the anchor, the convener of MONEYLINE with Nancy, Madam Nancy Inaji. What I would say is, if you pay attention to this slide, you will notice that the persons that have been talking to you, or the persons on your screen, are young people. That's to tell you that the show is not just educating the masses about economy and of course the business aspect in Nigeria. It's also trying to look out to young talent, bring them on board, let them harness their talents in broadcasting, in writing, in production.
Hi everyone, I'm Bukola Daniel, and so far I have been a social media manager intern at MONEYLINE with Nancy. I am so excited to be part of this team. MONEYLINE with Nancy, to me, is the best finance program out there. This program is so packed to the extent that she actually helps businesses and other people who probably are not really interested in finance. You get to know a bit about the finance world, and you get to know a lot about businesses and how to uplift yourself. So she prepared this PABAM Masterclass to help business owners, founders, and startups to actually share the latest information and strategies to build your businesses, especially with the current Nigerian economy. It is very, very, very nice that she created a program like this. So far, I am so happy to be a part of this team, and I am very, very honored to have this opportunity to be a social media manager with MONEYLINE.
MONEYLINE with Nancy TV is Nigeria's and Africa's foremost business program. It reaches out to people across the continent, and every single day by 11 a.m. to 12 noon gives us insight on business updates happening in the country and other parts of the continent and also the world. It educates us on financial management and gives us scopes into the business world. The show has given me the opportunity to be able to elevate myself as a young and upcoming writer, producer, so to speak, and giving me knowledge and a bit of mentorship too on how to facilitate my life and my business and personal life too.
Hi everyone, my name is Farida Talatu-Yaro, and I'm currently under my service here at MONEYLINE with Nancy. And MONEYLINE with Nancy pretty much is a business and economic program that teaches you all you need to know about the business and economics of the country that is Nigeria. So working with MONEYLINE with Nancy has been an amazing experience. It has been one that has taught me, that has kept me engaged, and has also given me an avenue to understand the things that I did not understand in the Nigerian economy and about business in general. So, and MONEYLINE with Nancy would not be anything without Madam Nancy, who is our anchor and chief executive of MONEYLINE. And working with Madam Nancy has been an amazing experience and mentorship experience too. She has not only allowed me to understand the business processes and understand the true essence of a real leader, she has been able to not only teach everyone that has, come under her. She's also given each person the opportunity to find parts of themselves that they didn't know was a thing before.
This is Moneyline with Nancy. How vulnerable is Nigeria? What are the economic challenges that the next leader or the next administration would inherit?
Part of the strategy really is to ensure that people have money in their hands.
We also need fiscal policies and actions.
The aspiration for us is to make Nigeria a net exporter of petroleum products.
We want to steer discussion to good economic policies to the benefit of the country.
It is in difficult times that nations take
All right, welcome back. Joining me right now is Olusegun Zaccheaus, who is a partner and lead at West African Market Strategy and part of the PwC network. Hello, Olusegun. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Nancy. Good morning. How are you doing this morning?
I'm well. I'm great. I hope you're doing the same too. Now let's get started.
Yes.
Let's get started. We're looking at the responses of business responses to tough economic times. We know it's no gainsaying that we live in challenging times. Earlier on, I had done the GDP analysis, and it really tells us a story of how the economy of Nigeria has been doing. But I really want to ask you, especially you have interfaces with businesses on a regular basis. How tough are these economic times for businesses really?
Thank you so much, Nancy, for the question. And I'm happy to be here again once more. I think these are very tough times for businesses, right? There are multiple shocks and pressure points that they're dealing with, both from the consumer end. And we've talked about the inflation and the impact. We talked about the broad slowing economic growth, which also has impact on jobs. So from a consumption end, businesses are dealing, with that challenges. But the other hand is the supply or the production hand. When you talk about the cost of production, when you talk about the supply chain challenges, right? These are very tough times for business because they have to navigate all these constraints and still be in operations, right? So as I speak to my different clients, the reality is that these are tough times. They have to navigate this head front, to be hopefully get across to the other end of the line. So it's indeed a tough time for all clients across all sectors, in this economic environment that we are in.
Now, Shego, I really want to ask this question because I'm also wondering if tough economic times always spell bad news for businesses, really. Does a tough economy, does it always mean bad news for businesses?
So that's an interesting question, and it can spin it in different ways, right? Sometimes the cup is half empty, or the cup can be seen as being half full. But generally, tough economic times for businesses that are not prepared, that do not have the right strategy to respond to the challenges, could be hit really hard, right? But the other bit is that businesses that are agile, right, that can potentially spot new opportunities that can be linked to the hard time, can also explore those opportunities and sort of use that to sort of grow their business and their revenues and all that. And we've seen this happen severally. During the COVID era, it was a high economic pressure point. I heard you alluding to lower GDP growth during that era. But we've seen businesses that have sort of leveraged the challenges of COVID to sort of review their business operating model and their production line, and have moved production from their primary product to new type of product like sanitizer, etc. Right? So it's different stroke for different folks, right? So it depends on how responsive the business is to the challenges, how they are proactive in sort of putting together a strategy that they can use to respond during the tough times. Obviously, businesses that are naturally vulnerable, right, get hit really hard. And typically what they all try to do is to just keep asking, and just try to begin to cut costs immediately, while not thinking deeply and strategic about how to manage tough times. So I think the question around the tough times is tough, right? Businesses that are not well prepared get hit hard. Businesses that are proactive and think deeply about their business and operating model and their strategy are able to respond a lot better, and even are able to explore new opportunities within the tough economic environment.
Now, I'm moved to ask if, from what you've said, it's either half empty or half full. And what I can also get from what you're saying is that it also depends on the sectors which you are playing. But I really want to ask if, like the question I asked earlier, if business growth is really possible in tough times. Do we see business growth possible in tough times for the non-cyclical sectors? Those are like the sectors that really do well even when the economy is not doing well, so to speak. So do we have growth or more growth in those sectors as against cyclical sectors?
Thanks. That's an interesting question. And maybe when we step back a bit and try to ask that question, what are the key indicators of tough times, right? There are two big dimensions you can look at, right? You can look at high inflation, right? High inflation really reflects that consumers' power to purchase is being eroded by higher prices, right? And if there's an erosion of consumer purchasing power, obviously everything around consumption and purchasing reduces, and production from firms and companies will reduce. So if we take Nigeria as an example, where 57% of our consumption spend is on food, right? Anything that sort of affects, the overall ability of the consumer to sort of consume, affect every other non-food.
Gracing our stage today with his fine and eloquent voice, his applauding charisma, and his energy like none other. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together as we welcome Pabam's Master of Ceremony, the half-human, half-amazing, head of station WeFM 106.3 Abuja, Benjamin Ben 200 Ubiri.
Well, good morning, everyone, and thank you very much for coming out very early to be a part of this. It is, of course, the Personal and Business Acceleration Masterclass. It means we want to grow. That beautiful voice you heard was Nancy's packaging of Ben 200. My name is Ben 200, half human, half amazing. It's an honor to be part of this growth class, and together we'll be doing it for the next few hours.